Rain poured down on the city streets. Water splashed everywhere. The lights from the buildings made pretty colors on the wet ground. Marco sat inside a small drinking place. He was a police detective. That means he catches bad people. But Marco felt very sad and very tired. His eyes looked empty, like he had lost something important. Marco had been a good detective for a long time. He helped many people. He caught criminals who sold dangerous things that hurt people. But then something bad happened. Marco made a terrible mistake. There was a very dangerous man named Victor Ruiz. Victor was the leader of a gang. A gang is a group of bad people who work together. Victor's gang came from far away. They did many bad things. Marco needed money to help his sister. She was very sick. The doctors cost lots and lots of money. So Marco did something wrong. He took money from Victor. In return, Marco had to help Victor sometimes. Now Marco had a small computer drive. A drive is like a tiny box that holds secrets and information. This drive had all of Victor's secrets on it. If the other police saw it, they would know Marco did bad things. He would go to jail. Marco looked out the window. He saw a big black truck stop outside. Big, mean-looking men climbed out. They carried special guns that were very quiet. These men worked for Victor. Marco did not try to run away. He felt so tired of hiding. He felt tired of being scared. He picked up his drink and took a sip. Suddenly, a strong hand grabbed Marco's shirt. The hand pulled him down under the table very fast. Glass broke everywhere with a loud crash. Tiny pieces of glass fell all around like sharp rain. The bad men had shot their guns right where Marco's head had been 1 second before. The hand belonged to a woman named Lola. She worked at the drinking place, serving drinks to people. Lola had beautiful pictures drawn on her arms. The pictures showed flowers and bones. She kept a small gun hidden under her clothes. Lola stood up quickly. She shot her gun 2 times at the first bad man. Bang! Bang! The man fell down. He did not get back up. More bad men ran inside. Lola grabbed Marco's hand. She pulled him through the kitchen in the back. The floor was sticky and slippery. A young boy who washed dishes saw them and ran away, screaming. Lola pushed open a big, cold metal door. Behind it was a freezer, where they kept food cold. She kicked a special spot on the wall. A hidden door opened up. Dark air that smelled wet and old came out. They crawled inside the dark hole. It was an old tunnel from many years ago. Back then, people used it to hide things. Rats ran away from them in the darkness. Above them, the bad men shot their guns at the freezer door. The sounds echoed and bounced around. Lola's old car waited in a dark street behind the building. The car was big and bounced when it moved, like a boat floating on water. Lola turned the key. The engine roared like a lion. They drove away very fast. The car jumped and bounced over bumps in the road. The bad men's trucks chased after them. Lola turned the car sharply into tiny roads by the water. The big trucks could not fit. They were too wide. Splash! Lola hid the car in a secret place by the canal. Canal is a word for a path filled with water. The rain drummed on the car roof like many tiny fingers tapping. Lola drove the car to her hiding spot. It was an old building where people used to keep boats. The building sat by the ocean. Nobody knew it was there anymore. Everyone had forgotten about it. Inside, the place was dark and dusty. But it was safe. Lola turned on a small lamp. She helped Marco sit down in a chair. His arm was bleeding. Blood made his shirt turn red and wet. Lola got out special supplies. She cleaned Marco's cut very carefully. Then she used a needle and thread to sew the cut closed, like fixing a rip in clothes. Marco made faces because it hurt, but Lola's hands were very steady. She was brave and knew what to do. Lola used to be a soldier. That means she was in the army and protected the country. She learned how to be strong and how to help hurt people. But something sad happened to Lola. Bad men killed her brother. After that, Lola left the army. She started watching Victor's bad men from the drinking place where she worked. One day, Lola saw Marco do something kind. He gave money to help her little niece. The niece is her brother's daughter. Even though Marco had done some bad things, Lola could see he was kind inside. That is why she saved him tonight. When Lola finished helping Marco's arm, they looked at his secret computer drive. They plugged it into a small computer. The screen glowed in the dark room. On the drive, they saw all of Victor's terrible plans. Victor wanted to bring poison powder to the beaches. Poison powder is drugs, very dangerous things that make people very sick. If Victor's plan worked, many people would get hurt or die. Suddenly, a voice crackled from a radio on the table. It was one of Victor's men talking. Marco and Lola listened carefully. "We have the girl," the voice said. "Tell Marco Reyes we took Lola's niece. If he wants her back, he must come to us. He must bring the drive. If he does not come, the little girl will get hurt." Lola's face turned white. Her hands shook. Her niece was only 6 years old. She had curly hair and loved to draw pictures. She was all the family Lola had left. Marco's heart hurt. Even though he was tired and sad, he knew he had to help. He put on a special vest that stops bullets. Lola gave him a big, heavy gun. Before they left, they hugged each other. It was a warm hug that said, "We will protect each other." Then they walked out into the rainy night. Under the big city, there were tunnels. Tunnels are like roads underground. These tunnels were very old. They smelled like wet dirt and old water. Marco and Lola walked through them quietly. They carried flashlights to see in the dark. While they walked, Marco thought about his past. He remembered visiting his sister in the hospital. She looked so small and sick in the big bed. The doctors said she needed expensive medicine. Marco wanted to help her so badly. That was when he made his big mistake. He took money from Victor. At the time, he thought it was the only way. Now he knew it was wrong. Lola also thought about her past. She remembered her brother's face. She remembered the day the bad men shot him. She could not save him then. But she could save her niece now. The tunnels led to Victor's big warehouse. A warehouse is a huge building where people store things. Victor kept boxes and boxes of the poison powder there, by the water. Marco and Lola came out of the tunnel near the warehouse. They hid behind some big barrels. They could see bad men walking around outside. The men carried big guns. Marco took a deep breath. He showed Lola his police badge. It was a shiny star that showed he was a detective. Even though he had done wrong things, he was still a policeman in his heart. Marco kicked the door open with a loud bang. "Police!" he shouted. Some of the bad men looked scared. They did not expect him to come. Lola was very clever. She climbed up into the air vents. Air vents are the metal tunnels where air blows through to keep buildings warm or cool. Lola crawled through them quietly, like a cat. She could see everything from up high. From her pocket, Lola pulled out a special device. It was called a flashbang. When she dropped it, there would be a bright light and a loud sound. Flash. Boom. The flashbang went off. All the bad men covered their eyes and ears. They could not see or hear. Guns started shooting. Pop. 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 Marco fought the bad men up close. He punched one man with his fist. The man fell down. Lola shot her gun from up high in the air vents. She was a very good shot. She never missed. Then Marco saw someone he knew. It was his old police friend, Diego. Marco felt his heart break. Diego was supposed to be a good policeman. But Diego had become bad. He was helping Victor now. Why, Diego? Marco asked. Why did you help Victor? Diego looked down at the ground. I needed the money, he said quietly. Just like you. Marco felt sad but also angry. He pushed Diego down and took his gun away. Then Marco found some of the secrets about Victor's gang. But not all of them. And they still had not found Lola's niece. A bad man tried to stab Marco with a sharp knife. But Lola shot the man from above. She saved Marco's life. You are my family now, Lola whispered to Marco. Marco nodded. They were a team. They would protect each other. But then Marco's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen. There was a scary picture. It showed Lola's little niece. She was crying. The message said, "Come to the fish house at sunrise. Come alone. Or the girl goes away forever." The sun was just starting to come up. The sky was gray and pink. Fog covered everything like a soft blanket. Marco and Lola drove to the old fish house by the ocean. A fish house is a building where people used to cut up fish. This one was very old. Nobody used it anymore. The wood was old and rotten. Water slapped against the wooden posts with loud splashing sounds. Marco and Lola had special glasses. When they put the glasses on, they could see heat. Every person's body makes heat. The glasses showed them where the bad men were hiding outside, even in the fog. Marco decided to run to the front door. He would distract the bad men. Distract means to make someone look at you so they do not see something else. While Marco distracted them, Lola would sneak in from above. Marco shot his gun 2 times. The shots were very quiet because his gun had a special thing called a silencer. 2 bad men by the door fell down. Marco walked inside. The lights were very bright. It hurt his eyes at first. Victor stood in the middle of the room. He was walking back and forth. He looked angry. 6 big, mean men stood around him. They all had guns. In the corner, Marco saw her. Lola's little niece sat tied to a big, scary machine. It was a machine that ground up fish. The girl's eyes were big and full of tears. She was so scared. Marco stepped forward. He tried to look brave. Victor laughed. It was a mean laugh, like a wolf. Victor grabbed the little girl. He put his gun against her head. Give me the drive, Marco, Victor said. Give it to me or the girl dies. But then, Lola came crashing down through the roof. She had climbed up there very quietly. She threw another flashbang device. Flash. Boom. Everyone's eyes went blind for a moment. Everyone started shooting their guns. They could not see, so they shot everywhere. Sparks flew like fireworks. Marco ran as fast as he could. He knocked down Diego, his old police friend who had turned bad. Lola shot Victor's hand. Victor's gun fell to the floor with a clatter. Marco jumped on Victor. They wrestled and fought. They rolled on the ground. Marco was very strong. He pushed Victor toward the big fish grinding machine. The machine turned on with a loud whirring sound. Victor fell into the machine. It was over very quickly. The sounds were very loud and scary. Marco and Lola ran to the little girl. They untied the ropes. The girl cried and hugged Lola tight. She was safe now. Marco took out his phone. He sent all the secrets from the computer drive to good police far away. Police who were not working with Victor. Police who would do the right thing. Soon, the bad men would all get caught. Victor's terrible plans were ruined. Boats with flashing lights came very fast. They were police boats and Coast Guard boats. The Coast Guard are people who protect the ocean and help people on the water. The good police came and took away all the poison powder. They arrested all of Victor's bad men. The good police talked to Marco. They saw all the secrets he sent them. They learned that Marco had helped catch Victor in the end. Yes, Marco had made mistakes. He had taken bad money. But he had also been very brave. He had stopped Victor's terrible plan. The police decided Marco was a hero. They would not put him in jail. But Marco decided he did not want to be a police detective anymore. He felt he had done too many wrong things. He needed a fresh start. A fresh start means beginning again in a new, clean way. Lola's niece ran into her arms. The little girl was safe. She stopped crying. She smiled a big smile. Lola kissed her forehead many, many times. Marco and Lola started a new job together. They opened a business helping good people stay safe. If someone was in danger, Marco and Lola would protect them. They used all their skills to help people instead of doing wrong things. No more hiding. No more secrets. One morning, the rain came down softly. It was gentle rain, not hard and scary like before. Marco and Lola got in the old bouncy car. Lola's niece sat in the back seat. They drove to the beach. The sun came up over the ocean. The sky turned pink and gold and orange. It was so beautiful. The water sparkled like it had diamonds in it. Marco held Lola's hand. Lola smiled the biggest smile Marco had ever seen. They walked on the sand. The little niece found seashells. She laughed and played. She was not scared anymore. Later, they went back to their home. Marco looked at the wall. There was a new picture hanging there. It showed Marco, Lola, and the little niece all together. They were smiling and laughing. They looked like a family. The bad days were over. The scary times were finished. New good days were starting. Marco had made mistakes, but he had also tried to fix them. Lola had lost her brother, but she had saved her niece. Together, they had stopped the bad men. Now they could rest. Now they could be happy. Now they could start over. And they lived safely and happily, helping other people every day. The end. Please like, comments and subscribe for more touching stories chronicles from the Mafia Boss Storytime channel.